The top 5 pre-owned Canon Fit lenses for video in 2019. And first up we have the Canon EF-S 18-55. Yes, the dreaded kit lens. But at just £80 pre-owned, the 18-55 EF-S lens offers a huge amount for your money. There's not a lot that's actually great about this lens. It doesn't have a quick aperture, it's optically a little bit lackluster, and it doesn't have that credibility you get with the red ring from an L series lens. But for a bargain, practical and versatile lens, it does offer quite a lot for you video shooters. First of all, the STM autofocus motor is genuinely silent. It's so quiet, in fact, that you can use it with an on-body microphone and not pick it up in your recording at all. It's far more usable than the USM autofocus motor you get with the premium L series lenses. The lens is just generally a versatile and lightweight all-day carry. It's the kind of lens that you can strap on the front of your DSLR for vlogging and use it all day without thinking about it. It'll do an adequate job in most scenarios in a really unassuming and silent way. So for its price and its versatility, I'd say for video you get a lot of mileage out of the 18-55 kit lens. Next up is the Canon EF 50mm f1.4 USM. Now, a prime and fast 50 is a must-have for anyone that's taking any kind of videos or photos, and that's because its focal range is that's most similar to the human eye. It renders an image that's really quite pleasing and very natural looking. There's also a lot of technical reasons why a prime 50 is a must-have for video, but it's suffice to say that it renders a really pleasing image with very little distortion that is just very natural looking in every conceivable way. The Canon EF 50mm f1.4 comes in at around £200 on the used market, and that's really significant as it's almost half of what you would pay new for this lens, and for that £200 you're getting a huge amount of optic quality for your money. In short, it's a beautiful lens to work with, and it does render a really lovely bokeh in the background of your videos. The main drawbacks come from it not having any image stabilization built in, and it does use the slightly noisy USM autofocus motor, but those things are quite easily forgivable once you see the beautiful image that this lens can render. Now next on my list is the Canon L series 16-35 f4 with image stabilization. This ultra-wide zoom lens is our go-to for pretty much every situation. We use it all the time on our apsc sized DSLRs, as well as filming with our main camera, the C100. In fact, we're filming with the 16-35 right now. And firstly, I know there'll be cries from some of you that an f4 is too slow for video, and for sure, this lens does suffer in some low light situations with that slower aperture. But the trade-off that you get with having the image stabilization, which is imperative for the kind of videos you can be shooting with a wide angle lens, makes that slower aperture worthwhile. You're going to be shooting handheld, you're likely going to be shooting vlogs with a wide angle lens, so image stabilization is an absolute must. For us, it's the lens that we strap on our cameras and forget about. It's the kind of lens that we vlog with all day. The ultra wide angle of it enables us to get 2 people in frame at the same time, and if you are that kind of person that's going to be shooting selfie style, it's wide enough to get you in frame without having to stretch too far. All in all, it's the lens that we use daily, and for around £700 on the used market, we've never been disappointed with it. Well, next up we have the Canon L series 24-105 f4. Now the Mark I 24-105 is by far the best value and most versatile L series lens that you can get. Coming in at around £450 used, this lens represents that huge step up in quality that you'd expect from a premium L series lens, whilst also covering pretty much all the focal ranges that you need for everyday video. And for sure, the f4 maximum aperture is slow, it will struggle in lower light situations, and it's not going to be the kind of lens that's going to offer that beautiful bokeh that you might get with something with a faster aperture. However, the image stabilization and the great optic quality you get from this lens far outweighs that drawback. It's the kind of lens that you can easily strap on the front of your camera and use all day in most scenarios. In fact, I would go as far as to say that if you can only afford one premium lens, then the Canon EF 24-105 f4 is the lens that you should go for. And finally on my list is the Sigma 35mm f1.4 art lens. And truly, this is a case of last but by no means least, as it is my favourite lens on this list. Considering you can pick this lens up used for around £400 is absolutely incredible. The image quality that it renders just far outstrips anything in the sub £1,000 category. In fact, even when new at around £700, this lens still represents an incredible investment. The biggest drawback in this lens comes to the fact that it has no built-in image stabilization, and that's really going to be a problem for vloggers or run and gun handheld shooters. But in truth, that problem is far outweighed by the absolutely stunning image quality that this lens will render. So if you want a lens that will give you a beautiful image with incredible bokeh for either talking head or interview style pieces, then this lens is a must-have, and when you consider its price point, you just won't be disappointed. So this is certainly not an exhaustive list of the best video lenses available, far from it. Rather, it's my selection of the best value lenses that you can get for video right now that offer the best bang for buck. If you'd like to find out more about these lenses, there's some links below, and whilst you're down there, why not consider subscribing to our channel or even signing up to our Filmmakers Club on Patreon, our monthly club where you get access to our assets to help you on your filmmaking journey. So that's been my grab and go review of the top 5 lenses for video in 2019. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.